What I do is try to tell people things about themselves that nobody else could possibly have known.
One day we want to be able to find out the truth. Do ghosts exist?
What I tried to do is to link the two worlds, the spiritual world with the physical world.
There is no death. That's the great message, isn't it? We're all going to live forever, just not in this world.
On the Antiques Ghost Show, we're going to be asking people to come along with a family heirloom, an antiquity, and we're going to try our very best to link with the vibrations and the energy contained in and around this object, which should open up links with loved ones that have actually owned this particular item, and hopefully make that conscious link with the spirit of a previous owner.
Get in touch with the past. Antiques Ghost Show with Derek Akora. Who do you trust with your deepest secrets? Who knows the most about your life, your past, your present, or your future? What if it's someone you've never met before? What if it's Tony Stockwell?
After all the things you've said, I really can't believe it.
How would you react to meeting him?
Come and do your stuff for me, my friend.
God, I can't believe this.
Street Psychic. Only on Living TV.
Hello, I'm Yvette Fielding and welcome to a collection of Most Haunted programmes. When I first started filming Most Haunted, I never believed that my views on the paranormal could change. You're about to see the first instalments of the best of Most Haunted. If you're a believer, enjoy. If you're a skeptic, you never know, we could make you change your mind. Hello and welcome to the best of Most Haunted. Now we've travelled the length and breadth of Great Britain and Southern Ireland to investigate 17 locations that are supposed to be haunted. Along the way we've experienced some very strange occurrences, but were they paranormal? Well, that's debatable. The Most Haunted crew have been on an emotional roller coaster. Tears, laughter and fear have affected us all. But Chillingham Castle was the first place where fear made its mark on every member of the crew. Now, I've heard that if there are such things as ghosts, they don't like the light. So shall we...
They prefer the darkness.
Do they?
They do, yeah.
Shall we turn the lights off? Are we all in agreement, everybody?
Yeah.
Right, OK, let's turn the lights off. Turn the lights off. Right then, Derek.
Okay.
We'll follow you. I've got the candle and off we go.
Right.
Derek says he has a spirit guide called Sam who links him to the spirit world. Sam will guide Derek to different places around the castle. Now bear in mind that we have given Derek no information about the history or legends of Chillingham. Now, listen out very carefully for an unexplained hissing noise. What's that noise?
What noise? What noise?
Oh, God, get out, get out, get out!
Come here, come on. Why did you want to come back?
I'm petrified, basically.
What's that noise?
Petrified of what?
I'm so frightened, I can't even think straight, I can't see straight. I'll be better where I can put the light on. If you hear screaming, you know where it's coming from. God, I'm so embarrassed. Sorry, guys.
The unexplained hissing noise was enough to scare our open-minded skeptic Marcel into not carrying on. So one team member down, and we'd only just started. Athelhampton Hall certainly had its moments of fear. We'd only just turned the lights off, and already Rick and Carl found a certain corridor too spooky to walk down.
What are you sensing?
You won't know what I'm going there. I just don't like corridors. Oh, I don't like it. Just went in here then, assuming it come from that side, and I've just walked in there and it just feels absolutely awful, and I cannot go in there.
What are you feeling when you walk forward?
Oh, I don't like it.
What is it you feel? What is it you don't like? What is it? Explain.
It just doesn't feel right. It's making me feel
I
can't feel it.
I went round there and it just felt absolutely awful, and then it keeps coming back and forth. It's like a depressing thing that just comes upon me. I just can't be near it, and it's whenever I go further down, but it comes to me and then it'll go, and that's why I said I'll go down there, and it just happened again. Yeah.
That's what I was holding. I was actually holding onto the wall there because it was just like this. It was
just like something forbidding. Just like something gripped you.
Yeah.
Is it something? Is it frightening?
Yes.
Yes, it is frightening.
Why? Does it? Why are you scared of it?
It's
the feeling. For me,
I can't describe. It is. It's the feeling, but it's like they don't. Whatever it is, doesn't want you there.
The London Underground is a place that Jason Carl, a parapsychologist, will never forget. Not because of the supposed ghosts, but his own fear of the darkness.
I'm moving stuff out of the way.
You alright, Jason?
Don't you dare!
A ghost called Cloggy is said to walk the ghost train, and Marcel and I were convinced someone was following us.
All right.
Shh.
What's that noise? What is that noise?
Whilst walking, we heard footsteps, and they seemed to be following us. Could it be the ghost of Cloggy?
That noise. It's coming from around there. Show us a light to show.
Marcel, tell me that was you. Something just touched the top of my head, and I swear to God, I swear to God.
That's happened to you before, though, hasn't it?
but a real hand touched the top of my head.
How do you know it was a hand?
Well, I'm just assuming something like a hand touched the top of my head. It was a proper touch.
Derby Jail is a place that no one will forget in a hurry. All sorts of strange phenomena occurred here, including my strange outburst.
I'm picking up a great deal of, quite simply, mixed emotions in this cell. I feel as if I'm isolated and I'm singular, because this energy is take me back in a reflection of a life, you know, and I feel a male memory thought, and I feel as if, you know, I want to be, you know, something round my neck as if, you know, like a hanging. Okay. But I've also, there's something else, there's another side to him, another side, and I feel it's like as if, for some reason, he's laughing about the other side of his nature, because what he said in what I was getting in the residual, and even Sam butted in there, and he said, you know, he was good with the money, he was a master forger. That alone could have got him incarcerated, but he got off with that. Now he's talking about the name Alice. She must have been linked here. Yes. She didn't plot to kill him. She didn't plot to kill him. Who did she not plot to kill? David?
David what?
David Lloyd. David Lloyd George. David Lloyd. She was not guilty, but she was incarcerated. Take that off me. Don't do that to me. Now this is someone, actually this is not Sam, it's not the residual energy.
I feel sick.
Yes.
I feel sick.
Do you want to come out?
Do you want to come out a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Yes.
Do you understand what you're giving?
Yes. Yeah. And some people are not just happy with the idea of a person to be executed with...
A bit.
Yes. You'll be okay. It was the feelings that...
What do you think the reason is?
Well, yes, I can understand it very, very clearly. What was actually happening was taking us back in memory of the residual, of which I was trying to explain at the time, is that a statement was made in that cell there that some people are not happy just to see someone just strung up and hung, but you know, to see the feelings of having your guts ripped out.
Do you mean like hung, drawn and quartered?
Yes.
I cannot explain why I became so emotional. It is something that will bother me for years. 5 minutes after this, I felt absolutely fine.
What did you feel? What
I still feel it now, like sick to my stomach. I feel so embarrassed about this, I have to say. It's just like the sickiest feeling in my stomach. And then the desire to just... I can't explain it. There is no explanation to how I feel.
I've been with you all day here and you haven't been like this at all.
I'm still getting it now, I have no idea why.
Do you want to go outside?
No, I'm fine, I'll be alright in a minute. You carry on.
When we were at Drury Lane, we decided to set up a shot of us walking along a corridor. Little did we know there was something at the end of it.
Where? There was two legs just there. Where? Just here, just right across there.
Two legs there, just there. They were moving on their own.
I saw them.
I saw them, we all bloody saw them.
Here, facing this way, there was that set of legs, and it was just doing that.
I only saw the legs, I didn't see anything else.
What was it doing? It was just like that.
Just moving like that.
It was two legs, they were just black silhouettes, and I saw them as well.
God, and that's why we all ran.
I did see them.
Why is it whenever we have lock-offs, we always put them in the wrong place?
Let's go up top and see BT.
The ghost of the grey man had been seen in the auditorium sitting in a particular chair. What happened next astounded some members of the crew.
Carl, where I was sat before, the actual, you know, the bit that pulls down to sit on?
Yeah.
It's come down.
It's come down?
Yeah. It was up because I've just had the camera on it.
God, it is as well. It's down?
It's down. All the other chairs are up. This is where I was sat in that chair there, Stuart was sat here, and the chairs spring back. See, the chairs do that, look. Every chair. So why is that like that? When I got up from that chair was up. So I just filmed it. It's come down on its own.
Well, I think it's very strange that is the actual chair that he's been seen in.
Was there somebody in the auditorium with them, the chair coming down and the legs that were seen? Were they related to the man in grey? We were all ready to start our investigation, but for some reason we couldn't stop giggling. There was no reason for this happening at all, but we were brought back down to earth as a cupboard under the stairs opened on its own.
Wait. What's that? No, come on.
Oh, God.
There's a little boy. It's one of three that's here. There's 3 children. He's one of them that was upstairs. Okay.
Can you see him?
Yes, a little boy. He's, I would say, in the way he's looking at me, he's lost a number of his teeth here. I suppose you'd say scruffy-haired little lad. But I feel what's coming from is a heart of gold, a beautiful little boy. I noticed a cat. And, you know, this is why this cat is drawn and attracted here to this property, because of the activity of the children.
Most people have heard of psychics and mediums, people who believe that they can communicate with the dead. When we investigated our chosen locations, we thought a medium would be a valuable part of our team. Derek Okora is a spiritualist medium, and it certainly opened our eyes when we watched him work. A famous murder at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane years ago involving 2 actors figured very strongly in Derek's investigation.
Arnold! He's coming into my energy. He's coming into my energy. Arnold! You'll never forgive him. I'll never forgive him. I will never forgive him. Jealous of my talent. He always was and he always will be. How dare he? How dare he?
Mr. Lesser. Even Hallam agrees with me. Hallam warned me. He warned me, but I didn't listen. Oh, what a folly. Oh, what a folly.
What year is it?
1700.
1700?
He took my life.
For jealousy?
Yes.
What was he jealous of?
Of my acting.
So you were
I'm the principal.
You were an actor?
I'm a principal. Without me, it couldn't go on. I can't leave.
Why?
This wretch keeps me here. He's a wretch. A wretch.
Derek, come forward. Just come forward. I'm here, Derek. Derek, come forward, Derek. I'm here.
It's a wretch.
Come forward.
Yes. Yeah, great.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What just happened?
The one who murdered him won't let him out of the atmosphere, and he won't forgive him, so he keeps him here in his torment. He's keeping him into the atmosphere because they're both in equal levels.
No, Derek. Where were we when you didn't feel anything? Go. Just come with me. Come with me.
He won't let me go.
Can we take you downstairs? Where you didn't feel anything earlier, so you should be clear. Come on.
That's frightening.
Sit down.
That was very interesting.
Just to try and clear it.
That's made me feel sick, that, to look at that. Yeah, it has. I don't like it at all. It freaks you out a bit.
I've seen mediums go into alleged transfiguration, where a spirit is alleged to take on temporal possession of the body and control. I've seen Derek do it before.
Well, he was just sweating and just so upset, and to actually call for Carl, because he actually has said to Carl in the past, if you see me in trouble, you must say to me, grab hold of me and say, come forward, come forward. It's not nice to see at all. It's frightening.
It's interesting.
One of the main ghosts at Chillingham Castle is the Blue Boy, a boy who was bricked up alive behind a wall hundreds of years ago. Many people have seen his ghost and experience a feeling of helpless anxiety.
Oh, yes. It's the boy again. Can anyone hear him?
No.
No.
You see, the colour blue is a healing, very, very strong healing colour, and also drawn around this boy as he comes into the atmosphere, and his cries not of help, but cries that have gone unheard because of cruelties that are associated with this boy. I get the feeling within, you know, of incarceration. I can't say that word any stronger of what I really, really mean, or they want me to say incarceration. And if someone is jammed behind something and is thinking, and his feelings are so... Oh, let me know! No! Leave me alone! Leave me alone! No! Come and help me! Come on! Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on. It's the grounds. The wall. The wall. I'm behind the wall. That man who's locked here with me. He's locked here with me. I didn't want him here. Sam, don't. Tell him to step back, please. Step back, please.
The fact that you said incarceration is interesting because the legend has it that he was immured in a wall. Some builders were excavating, and they excavated a fireplace opposite to this one, and they found some bones which were later discovered to be a boy child. And also another skeleton was found of a male adult with the child.
At Suter Lighthouse, no one was sure who or what was causing some strange ghostly occurrences. Derek solved the mystery by giving the ghost an identity.
Okay. Yeah. In this area. You know, coming through as if I get Isabella.
It was very interesting that Derek had picked up on Isabella. We know that she was registered as living here in the 1881 and 1891 national census, but no one had connected her with any paranormal activity in the lighthouse until now. And one place that was active was the kitchen.
Another one.
That's come on by itself.
That's come
This
on
has
by
just come on by itself.
It has.
Really?
Yes.
But she did that.
She may have done that.
I wouldn't have thought it was on the timer because the timer symbol isn't lit.
Right. But that's weird.
One of the most bizarre stories we encountered was at the Ostrich Inn, where in the 14th century over 60 people were murdered in the most unusual way. A landlord called Jarman committed heinous crimes.
This character's trying to play hide and seek. But I've come here, that's better, Sam.
Derek. Breathe, Derek.
I've fallen down. That Jarman is killing me.
Who are you?
I'm James Henry. James Henry. Look at it. She's taken my money. That woman.
Who's taking your money?
His wife. She's hidden it. What are you doing with my money?
What's she doing with it?
She's put it in that chest. Under the stairs. The stairs that are hidden.
Do you know who we are?
Shh.
He's walking down with that smirk on his face.
Who is?
Jarman.
How do we get him to come out?
He'll come out when it suits him.
Oh, God.
We have to let him. It's all right. You need to let him go through it.
Why? Why do I need to let him go through it?
Because in its mediums, if they're taken out of a trance before they're ready to come out, it can actually hurt them, allegedly.
I know, but he's going through pain. I can't see him go through.
Derek. Take you to the door, did you say?
The pantry. Do you want to go to the pantry?
Yes.
Come on then, we'll
Stand
take
up.
you. Come on. We'll take you to the pantry. There, come with us. Come on.
Derek, can you hear me?
Oh, my.
Your legs okay?
Yeah.
You're all right.
Okay, yeah, fine.
This type of trance is called transfiguration, and it's where mediums and psychics believe spirits take over their bodies to deliver information about their past. Now, when we first started filming this series, we were all a little blasé about spending 24 hours in a haunted location. Most of us had never seen a ghost or had a paranormal experience. There's nothing to be scared of, we said. Oh, how wrong we were.
I am petrified. I just want to keep looking at the camera because I don't want to look around anywhere else in case I see something. I cannot last an hour like this. What the hell was that noise? And the wind outside is blowing and it's casting shadows everywhere. Oh God. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit of tickling on the top of my head. Oh God. Oh wind outside. It's still tickling on top of my head. I can't stand it anymore. I'm sorry, I've got to go. I can't. I know I'm being a complete wuss. I've got to make it to the door. Carl.
How pathetic. 5 minutes was all I lasted in the most haunted room at the Red Line pub. At Charleville Forest Castle in Ireland, one of our cameramen, Rick, didn't do any better when he went into a dungeon.
Shall we break? Just go stand in the middle of the ring.
I'll tell you what, here we go. We both have to take turns in going and standing through that black void, yeah? And just standing there. You're not letting go of this.
I'm not letting go of that.
Come on.
No, I'm taking it. You can see if it goes up.
The first sign, I will shine it on for you, I promise you.
Hold on. Don't flick it yet. It's pitch black. Something's just tickled my hair.
Where, in here?
Yeah, something's just tickled my hair. Oh, I don't want to stay now.
Right, whereabouts was it? Whereabouts were you?
Just walk straight. Oh, God, that's awful. It's very scary.
Atherhampton Hall is classed as one of the most haunted places in England. We certainly had an interesting night, and no one will forget the cot that moved on its own.
In this lovely building there are 4 ladies, like sisters. They're very close to each other. And 2 of them come here. 2 of them. Not 4, but 2 come in visitation. They talk about meeting, although I don't feel she's connected. The older lady. Quite often, they pass each other by. I just feel as if I'm being drawn by the elder lady to a bedroom.
Right.
And it may be of interest, you know, maybe something will...
Now, you'll sometimes hear Derek referring to Sam. He's a spirit being who gives information to Derek from people who have departed from this world and wish to communicate with the living.
2 of these ladies, they come here. And one of them is one of the ladies that walks the stairs. She walks the passageways. One of these 2 sisters. She does it purposely. The other one stays out of sight, I believe. And William Martin walks here as well. William Martin. In actual fact, Sam says, this really belongs to William.
What belongs to William?
This building.
The house.
The house belongs to him in his heart.
What is that noise? Shh, shh. Oh my God.
Fortunately, we did pick up the sound of the cot rocking in the next bedroom, even though it's very quiet, and Andrea actually saw it move on its own.
How was it rocking?
It wasn't doing it fast, it was doing it much more slowly.
Like controls?
Yeah.
Sort of like...
God, I heard that!
Yes.
I heard that! I heard that! It was doing it definitely with quite a lot of
With control, yeah. And that's a heavy cot, so you'd need a lot of physical strength.
We didn't catch it.
Andrea, where she was stood, there was no one else around except for us 3 and the camera people in the room, so there can't have been anyone in here. There's nowhere they could have gone. I did hear the noise. We all heard it, didn't we?
I heard it. Well, I've never liked that car. I've always had a really funny feeling
What's the
about
history of it? Do you know at all?
I don't know. I think it's original to this house.
It is. And the one who walks of the daughters that belongs with her.
At Chillingham Castle, another dungeon was making our producer Carl a little edgy, and he had every reason to be. Watch the white box on the left-hand corner of your screen.
I really can't make out what all this stuff is. I can't actually walk any further into the room because there's so much stuff. Oh, okay. There's not anything that I can certainly see. I'm sure the noise came from here. Oh. What was that? What was that? It sounded like sort of glass breaking or being rapped on. Well, I don't feel too bad in it. Certain noises. Oh.
One person who wanted to prove to the rest of the crew that she could walk in some haunted woods without losing it was Marcel.
I think I've got a reputation now for being quite hysterical, and what I want to do is to stick it out all night, be completely rational and objective, not freak out, and prove every one of the crew wrong.
This is where the sighting of the two cavaliers has happened, or the cavalier and the roundhead fighting on the lawn. This is where it's meant to occur.
Remember, there's wildlife out here. I've got to say, I'm back in that... That was the wildlife. Come back with the torch! Nice start, Marcel.
Sometimes it's a drop on the crowd, please.
The pheasants taking off from the undergrowth had managed to cause Marcel to lose her sanity yet again. As we walked deeper into the woods, our laughter slowly died away and was replaced by unexpected fear. This wasn't so much fun anymore. Derek had told us there was a book hidden in the loft of the Ostrich Inn that would reveal the truth behind the murders committed here by a landlord called Jarman in the 14th century. Carl went to see if he could find the hidden book.
It's a very old part of the building. The rafters here are... they're next to nothing, as you can see. These are literally just... could be covered. I'm not having any luck with this book, guys. Okay. I love it when I get cobwebs on my face in a haunted house. Did somebody just move up here at all? Oh. Is someone else moving up here? I just need to know if anyone else has been up here or thrown anything up.
No one's come up.
Right.
I'm down and that's it. No one else has gone up.
I've just had a major shuffle, it was like a shuffling sound, like something had been thrown.
I'm hearing noises upstairs, guys.
Right, hang on.
Carl?
Yeah, can you just shine that torch so I know you're out over there, because it's getting a bit hairy up here. Oh, please be nice. Right, I'm coming down there.
Can you see alright?
Yeah.
What was it up there?
There was like a shuffling noise. It was really close to me, but that was when you had the torch on. The first noise I heard was like somebody throwing. That's why I asked if anyone had thrown anything up or
nobody was
moved.
Nobody
if they'd been up. It was like something just thud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a look at the tape because we might actually catch it on there. I've got sort of like a small torch. So.
Yeah.
It was only after looking back at the tape did we see an object moving on its own at the bottom centre of the screen, which created one of the noises that Carl heard. But what that object is, we just don't know. We couldn't find the book, and without tearing up the floor and walls, there was no more we could do to find the one piece of evidence that would answer all the questions about Jarman and the murders.
That is very spooky.
During our travels, we've experienced many unexplained phenomena. We've used lots of equipment and experiments to try to capture some kind of ghostly activity. Sometimes we caught absolutely nothing, but on other occasions the results were baffling.
At Derby Jail, the condemned man's cell seemed a good place for Jason to set up a trigger object experiment.
What I'm actually doing here, we haven't officially started the investigation yet, Derek hasn't arrived, but just because people are milling around and a few things and feelings have been reported in this cell and the cell next door, I thought I'd set up a trigger object now. So what I'm doing is drawing around the edge of the cross, exactly, so we can tell if it's moved even a few millimetres. If it does move, it will be paranormal. Now we have had this and other things move in other locations, so we'll have to wait and see. No one's actually been in here for just under an hour, and we've kept the area secure, so I know no one's been inside. We're just going to check to see if the trigger object has moved. Oh, it's moved! It's moved loads! Look, it's moved! Hey! It's moved 7-8 millimetres right out of the line. You can see it's completely moved. No one's been in here. It's been a controlled area as much as we can control it. I would bet my sort of money on this that it won't be on tape, because we've already had some odd things happen with the camera in this cell this evening. So I will bet my money that there's nothing on the tape and that it will have happened after the tape finished.
Amazingly, we had caught the cross moving. Unfortunately, the camera was not set wide enough, so we couldn't see all sides of the paper. All we know is that the cell was locked and no one had entered that room. This can only be classed as poltergeist activity. We were all shocked at what we had caught on camera. In Culzean Castle, we put the girls in the haunted bedroom and the boys on the staircase. Which group would catch anything paranormal, and which group would come face to face with their fears?
This is the room that's got lots of activity in it. My heart's thumping, but I'm not scared, because you're all with me.
I'm scared.
Are you?
Yeah.
There's nobody there, but it's just the
How do
idea.
you know there's nobody there?
Oh, orbs. There we go. If there's anybody here who wants to make themselves known, can you please make yourself known to us? To show us What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter, Marcel? What's the matter? Calm down, what's the matter?
I saw a light on the picture, I swear I saw a light on the picture. I swear I saw something, I swear.
It's not... Oh, there! Oh, yes! Did you see it?
Oh my god.
My heart is going.
I'm so scared.
That was so distinct.
There's more of those. Are you still here? If you're still here...
Oh my god.
Did you see that? Oh, wow. Thank you so very much. Oh, thank you. And again, please, more. Can you please show us more?
I bet I've gone cold.
No, you're all right. Come on, please. This is brilliant. Thank you so much. No, it was a massive orb. This is fantastic.
The picture of the lady seemed to be the main place where the so-called orbs were being caught on camera. We have no idea what this particular moving light is, and in the absence of any plausible explanation, have we caught for the first time that we know of in television history a spirit trying to show itself on camera?
These things, which are termed orbs simply because of their shape, are only caught in night vision. No, that's a lie. They have been caught, but very rarely in normal camera. They are only caught in places where ghosts have been seen or paranormal events occur. That doesn't mean that they are ghosts. It leads me to think that they will be connected in some way to ghosts.
I quite admire your objectivity, I have to say. And I have to apologise to you just for being so hysterical when I first entered the room.
What's the worst thing that can happen? There's really nothing to be scared of.
Car, he got scratched. That was a flash and he got in the room.
Where?
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 There's another one.
Where?
I saw it. I saw it.
What? Where? Talk to me.
What? Oh my God! What?
It's it's like a sensor.
What sensor?
It's a flashing light on the ceiling. Alright, and it's very constant.
Oh, Marcel!
Like the scariest thing in this room is Marcel jumping.
After we had all heard a baby's cot rocking on its own at Athelhampton Hall, Jason and I caught some odd-looking lights near the same cot.
What if it moved on its own?
I'd be, well, quite excited if it did. I've never actually seen an object move of its own accord. I've heard things moving. I've never actually seen something with my own eyes moving. I've seen it on video. Wow! Now that, did you see the way that flickered as it came out? Because dust just moves erratically. It doesn't move in straight lines. Now those are impressive.
Although we didn't see the cot move, what we did see were these strange, flashing lights.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, I've seen what are termed orbs. They're the small round sort of globe type ones. But these ones, these flashing ones, are something new to me. I've never seen that before. Never.
What are orbs anyway?
Orbs are believed to be by psychics and spiritual people part of a ghost manifestation, the beginning stage of a ghost actually taking a human form, an apparition if you like. What we know of them scientifically is that we can't explain them, and that's all we know.
Oh my gosh, look at that! Did you see that?
I did, yeah. The reason that I'm particularly interested in that is because, as we said, we've had activity in that particular area in this room earlier on tonight.
We all heard, or some of us heard, the cot rocking. I heard it rocking, and that was the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And then to see those sparkly lights.
They are getting stronger. Whatever this is, it's getting stronger because those two flashes that you saw then, they are much, much brighter than the ones 5 minutes ago. I can't explain them.
Another strange anomaly was caught in this bedroom at Treasure Holt, where the ghost of the crinoline lady is supposed to walk. During our investigation at Levens, this particular room is the only one where these strange lights have been caught on our night vision cameras. Stuart and Sean were unaware of this light earlier on in the investigation, during the séance, and also during David and Vicky's baseline test. All these lights appear at the foot of the same bed, where the three supposed ghosts have been seen here not so long ago. Were they connected? Of all the rooms at Levens Hall, most of the activity had centred in two places: the corridor where Richard Baggett had seen the black shape move towards him, and the Bishop Ken's room where three ghosts were said to have been seen by a female guest. During our 24-hour investigation, most of the unexplained phenomena and fear were also in these two places. Coincidence? Maybe. Jason and Carl were investigating one of the most haunted rooms at the Mermaid Inn.
I've never been that scared. It's never. I mean, even the things that have happened to us on this, Almost Haunted, it's just indescribable. I mean, if I was on my own, I would have left. Oh, what? Can I show you something on this?
Yeah, I'll keep recording you.
Do keep recording. Wow.
That was weird, different, wasn't it? Sort of changed shape.
That is a
Didn't that change shape?
Yeah, that was nice. No.
Yeah, it did.
Yes. Where are you going?
I'm just trying to get a better shot of here. Yeah, I just got it again, Carl.
Same thing.
No, different. How do you feel, Carl?
I'm starting to get scared again. In a way, I'm glad because I thought it had gone because I was feeling all right. But now I'm starting to feel scared again after seeing that.
There was one particular room at the Red Lion pub that even staff members were nervous of, and it certainly left its mark on Carl.
I just went into the room where we were, the private room. I went to take the camera down and I thought, no, I'll actually take the plug out first. And I leant down to pull the plug, and literally just as I pulled the plug out, this sharp pain in the back of my neck.
Right from the word go. I mean, that area up there, the hallway, the 2 bedrooms and what have you, they were, at the beginning, when we first walked in, very active.
I think it's important to remember that there's very little evidence of ghosts hurting people physically, but it isn't unknown.
But this feels like, to me, as if there's been a little bit of diva activity.
Well, divas, as you're calling them, is elemental ghost, which is a ghost that's never allegedly lived as a human being. It's created by negative situations, murders, unpleasant thoughts, and it just sort of creates a feeling of negativity, and that takes on an intelligence. That's the theory.
None of us will ever understand why Carl got those scratches on his neck, and I don't think he'll ever forget that experience at the Red Lion. During our 24-hour investigations, we've discovered that there's certainly something strange occurring that's yet to be understood. Here's more of the best of Most Haunted. Hello and welcome to a 1-hour special of Most Haunted. We've come to Levens Hall in Cumbria, which has been continuously occupied for 700 years. Stories of curses, ghosts and hauntings are abundant here. The present occupants have reported strange noises and ghostly apparitions, and by spending 24 hours here, we hope to find out who or what is causing these unnatural disturbances. Levens Hall was first built in 1250 by the de Redmonds. It has been passed from family to family, who have all had their part in making the hall look the way it does today. A medieval structure that has had many owners, including Alan Bellingham, who lost the ownership in a game of cards on the turn of the Ace of Hearts. There have been many ghost sightings at Levens that have intrigued and frightened people for many years, but no one knows for sure who or what they are. Spending the night with me are the Most Haunted crew. Some old faces and new ones will be hoping to come across anything paranormal. To become better acquainted with the property and its supposed hauntings, Susie Baggett, the owner, filled us in on some of the alleged sightings. So Susie, what sort of things have been seen outside of the hall and in the grounds?
Well, I think the principal one is the grey lady, a lady dressed in a grey purpley dress with her hair up in a bun, and she's seen down at the bottom of the drive near the river and has been seen by several people. One person even was on a bicycle and fell off trying to avoid hitting her. There's also a little black dog which has been seen with me and with my mother-in-law and is also seen in the house sometimes. In the Topiary Garden itself, some people looking for ghosts one night did say they felt the presence of a little girl within this area.
Right. What about the curse?
I think that could be tied up with a grey lady, although it's said to be a gypsy lady who came to the front door of the house begging for food. She was turned away and sent round the back. But as she lay dying, she cursed the house, saying that no male heir would inherit until the River Kent ceased to flow and a white fawn, a baby deer, was born in the park.
And did that happen?
And it went for several generations through the female line from that point until my husband's great-uncle was born and the River Kent froze, so ceased to flow, and a little white deer was born in the park, and we've got its ears pressed in a scrapbook.
Well, curses are an integral part of English folklore, and the one here goes back, I believe, a couple of hundred years. The interesting thing about it is that it seems to have come true. Now, what you have to look at with curses is whether we are actually looking for links in something which is actually a coincidence. I believe that two aspects of the curse are the river has frozen over and a white fawn has been born on occasions when a son or an heir of the family has been born into the family that own the hall. But how many fawns and how many freezing rivers have we had when there hasn't been a male heir? I think that's the key. I think we're probably looking for links where perhaps it's just a coincidence. Well, Evans Hall is a well-known haunted house. There are lots of different stories here, as you would expect with an ancient house, and other investigations have taken place, but I have to say that they have actually focused more on the gardens rather than the hall itself. And according to the reports that I've read anyway, investigators have found positive results of flashes of light which they couldn't explain and various other encounters within the gardens, not just in the house. I'll be interested to look at the gardens as well as the hall itself.
These topiary gardens at Levens Hall are incredibly famous and thousands of people come to visit them each year. But what they probably don't realise is on the odd occasion, some people have seen the ghost of a little girl playing amongst the trees.
To help us with our 1 hour special, we invited 2 new parapsychologists to see if they could find out whether these ghostly disturbances are real. With so many rooms and large gardens, we needed all the help we could get.
Well, I've been researching and investigating haunted locations for about 13 years now. I've had a special interest in Levens Hall for quite a few years now because of the amount of conflicting ghost stories that's here. One person tells you one thing, then another person will tell you another. And it's interesting to come here and try and piece all the information together to see if we can come up with some conclusive proof of what is actually going on.
I've been interested in parapsychology since I was 15. I believe in something, but whether I'd call it a ghost, I'm not sure, because I'm not really sure what other people mean by the word ghost. But I do believe that there is something which we haven't yet been able to explain, which is what most people would call a ghost.
Well, one of the things that mainly interests me about Levens Hall is obviously the place is very old. I mean, it dates back 400 or 500 years. And most of the ghost sightings and apparition sightings have been of Victorian-era people, all in Victorian clothing. And it seems strange to me that a location as old as this seems to have fairly recent ghosts.
I believe that there are people who are able to share with other people knowledge of which they had no prior cognition. I have no idea what it is, where it comes from, why some people are able to do it and other people aren't. So if that's what you'd call a medium, then yes, I have to say I believe in some, but not all.
Derek Akora, our spiritualist medium, had been left in the dark with regards to the location. With only the driver of the car knowing of its whereabouts, would Derek be able to make any contact with the ghosts that have been seen here on many occasions?
Can you imagine how you would feel if this happened? You're lying in bed, fast asleep, only to wake up and discover 3 ghosts standing at the foot of your bed. The lady in question asked the 3 ghosts who they were. They said nothing and just walked away.
She was upstairs asleep in one of the bedrooms, and the story as I understand it is that she suddenly woke up and there at the foot of the bed was a gentleman with a stick and a stovepipe hat on, and presumably his wife next to him, and also a child as well. She's a very sort of forthright lady. She just said, "What on earth are you doing here? Get out of my bedroom." Whereupon they just faded into the panelling of the room. We had a babysitter on one occasion who was in one of the rooms sort of watching television. She kept on going to the door because she was quite convinced somebody was going to come to the door because she could hear the floorboards squeaking. And then she went to the door and there wasn't anybody outside that door, and that got her very worried.
I didn't believe in ghosts until recently, and I think then about 6 months ago something very strange happened to me. It must have been about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up, opened my door, walked out. I just saw this figure, a very tall figure walking towards me. It just kept on walking, kept on walking. I just sort of sat down, thought about it, and I just don't remember going to sleep, I don't think.
So why does this particular corridor seem to have a lot of activity? Well, there's creaking floorboards, only to discover that there's nobody here. And what about the dark, ghostly shape at the end that Richard saw? Are they connected? Well, hopefully, we'll find out later. Whilst the crew busied themselves setting up equipment and filming different parts of the hall, David and Vicky spent time taking various measurements around the property. This is what's known as a baseline test.
Well, when we investigate a haunted house, you have to look at the most obvious things. I mean, if people are being woken up by supposed poltergeist activity, you have to look at central heating systems to make sure there's no airlocks. You have to check things like creaking floorboards, which can affect door latches, which explains doors opening. There's a whole variety of possible causes that you do have to delve into, and you do have to be quite intense in your investigations.
We try to rule out the ordinary noises of any house. If you investigate in the dark, you rule out what's commonly called corner of the eye phenomena, where you think you see something in the corner of your eye, but it's gone before you've actually registered it. So if you're in the dark, you rule that out straight away, but you rule in hysteria and sensory deprivation. You then start to look at geophysical activity in the area at the time that something odd or unusual was recorded. How has whatever differed from the baseline measurement that you've previously taken? And you try to work out rationally, scientifically, logically, what has caused that fluctuation.
Ley lines are often connected with paranormal and ancient sites and are thought to be one of the reasons for unexplainable occurrences. Changes in magnetic fields giving off different levels of energy can induce different kinds of phenomena. Whether it is paranormal, it is yet to be scientifically proven. We wanted to see if ley lines were prevalent at Levens, and one of the oldest ways to find out is to use dowsing rods.
First subsection there, because as you went past, your right hand dowsing rod started to point to the right.
Well, mediums and parapsychologists have come to Levens Hall in the past to conduct investigations. When in this bedroom, they've all said the same thing. It's got ley lines in it. Also, there are many people that come to visit and stay at Levens Hall, and there are lots of bedrooms here, but no one will stay in this bedroom. Residents and visitors have experienced some strange activity in this room, the Great Hall. Now, we're actually going to be using this as our control room. Now, Jason, we've got an awful lot of equipment, haven't we? What's going on here, then?
Well, what we've got here is 3 cameras set up in the key spots where ghosts are supposed to have been seen in the past. We've got the corridor, we've got the gardens, and we've also got one of the haunted bedrooms. So we'll be able to watch the whole of the house throughout the night, which will give us an increased chance of catching anything, if there's anything here. Not only that, we've also got mobile radios to keep everyone in contact with each other, which should help us.
In case anybody gets frightened.
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, Vicky, David, what on earth is that?
This is a fantastic bit of equipment we've brought in specially for the 1 hour special Most Haunted, and it comprises of 2 cameras all in one. We've got a black and white CCTV camera and a thermal imaging camera. You may have seen the rescue services using these on telly. Basically what this will do, we'll set this up in a haunted location, or supposed haunted location, and it will detect hot spots and cold spots. And one of the main bonuses with this piece of equipment is it's got a built-in thermometer. If I point the camera at yourself, you'll see down here on the monitor, you'll see like your face, your head, your hands, all showing up as hot. And it will also give an instant Celsius temperature reading.
Oh, how hot am I?
You're 31 Celsius at the moment.
But we'll use this in conjunction with static thermometers, so that if a temperature fluctuation is recorded and we feel that there is a cold area in the room, or the room has suddenly become very cold, we can isolate the cold spot and then see if there's any movement within the cold spot, or if it moves around the room, or if in fact the whole room is just cold.
During the baseline test, Vicky and David were taking photographs on a digital camera. What showed up were these strange circular lights. We were all excited with this evidence so early on in our investigation. We had caught something very similar at Chillingham Castle in Northumberland, and after film experts had looked at all of these photographs, they cannot explain what they are. Some experts in the paranormal field would say that they are orbs, a term used to describe small lights that only seem to occur in alleged haunted locations, and are thought to be one of the first stages of a ghost manifestation.
9:30 and Derek Okora, our spiritualist medium, had arrived. Would he be able to shed any light on the Victorian ghosts? Would we see more of these so-called orbs, and if so, where? Was the Grey Lady connected with the curse, and why was the corridor a place that no one really liked to be on their own? Would we find out who these people were, or would they remain a mystery? With all the ghost stories and photos of strange lights taken earlier, we were all hopeful that we would encounter some kind of paranormal activity. Would Derek Okora, our spiritualist medium, be able to help us with our investigation at Levens Hall? We were all very keen for Derek to get started, and with all the conflicting ghost sightings, everyone, even the owners of Levens Hall, wanted to find out once and for all who were the alleged ghosts that haunt this 13th century manor house. With the crew walking around with Derek, we left Vicky watching the monitors to see if anything happened in any of the other rooms. We were ready to start our investigation.
I'm very aware, I've become aware of an energy of a lady. And this lady, I feel, is so conversant of movement throughout this house that she's certainly not part of residual energy. She is active, I feel, quite strongly. It's as if she's taken me in thought into the care, a very caring soul. I get Countess. Countess. I can hear her voice now, that's good. Her father's saying, James, why is she saying this? I don't know. She keeps on talking about her love for her father. A love for her father. James. Her father is James. Colonel James. Colonel James? Colonel James. The Countess's father comes here. James comes here. There's another lady's just come in here now. I feel her energy coming in, intermingling. Jason, she's virtually at the back of you.
Can't feel her yet.
Yeah, okay. She's showing herself here to me. She comes in here as well. She's got strength here for some reason. I can't get a name. I can't get a voice with her. I get this love with both these energies here of caring around children. She wanted to care around children. Right. Maybe that actually were brought up here. I'm very aware that at certain times, maybe on a lot of occasions, that anyone that would come into this room, even sleep in the room and what have you, would experience quite a bit of activity here. A person could be asleep and would wake up and would spot something, either spirit light, movement, and I'd say at times that this particular room could be quite active.
The only surviving daughter of Colonel James Graham was Countess Catherine of Suffolk and Berkshire. Maybe it was her and her father who were seen at the foot of the bed, but who the child was, we don't know. In another bedroom, Derek seemed to still be in contact with the same woman.
Again, I've got an attachment with Countess, and a real, the presence of the energy is a lady. She's in and out of this bedroom. Mm-hmm. In and out. I also get, I don't know what this link is, I want to say Howard. A connection with Howard. I feel something, not first name, mm-hmm. but the name Howard.
So, right, okay.
Howard.
Right.
Sorry about that. I'm also getting right now here, that's come around my right side, there's a scurrying little black dog.
Can you see it?
Yes, there he goes. Okay.
Where?
He's here. He loves running up downstairs. He's up and down here. And he goes right across He knows this place inside out, this little black fella.
What sort of dog would you say it was?
To me, he looked like a little mongrel.
Right.
Okay? A mongrel, I'm not talking about the size of a miniature dog. I'm talking about a mongrel of this size.
Right.
Yeah?
Okay.
He runs throughout this home. Throughout.
Right.
He's not always up here. Why he's come up here, I don't know. I feel as if I want to go downstairs with him and stay down there. Yes. It's like.
Do you want to go now?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go down.
Yes.
The Countess seemed to have a strong link with Derek, as did the little black dog, which has been seen by residents and visitors. Downstairs, in one of the oldest parts of the house, another supposed spirit was adamant that they be heard.
I've got a woman's voice now virtually ringing through my ears here, this level, saying, Bellingham, 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 we belong, we belong, Bellingham, Bellingham. And now I'm getting the feelings around me as if now there's a man's presence here with me. Colonel James. Colonel James.
This portrait of Colonel James Graham shows him complete with wig. He does not match the description of the supposed ghost seen by a female guest at the foot of the bed. But who knows whether Colonel James dressed like his portrait all the time. Derek had led us to the Purple Room, which is the only bedroom where guests refuse to sleep, as it has an oppressive atmosphere.
You picking anything up?
I don't know what it means. I get the initial D and E. D and E. And yet, because of my sight, probably I can't get it all clearly. It's D something. Something in attachment with going way back to the foundations, the first built part of foundations. A name that would have been responsible. Hopefully, before we finish our investigations throughout the night,
we'll find
I'm
out
hoping we'll find out what this is.
Yeah. Derek was absolutely correct. The Purple Room is one of the first parts of the house to be built by a family called the D. Redmonds. We couldn't believe it when Derek stopped in the haunted corridor. Would he be able to tell us if it was active and who or what haunts it?
This passageway, okay, is most definitely, okay, at times seriously active. Why? And this is coming to me mentally, okay? Those impressions. As if I'm getting a lot to and froing of more than one energy. It's up and down the passageway, and they're crossing each other.
Who is it? Who are they then?
Earlier, I saw a lady coming and whizzing right across the lawns. Okay, she's one of them. And the only way I can describe it is if she's in this drab greyness, grey-brown, you know, dress covering, like a cloak. And her energy is up and down here at times, and then she's out. She would like to show herself, if not startle, step back in front of people. And I just get the feelings of, you know, she goes way back.
Right.
Way back.
Do you have a name for her?
Again, the initial D and E in again.
So it's the same as before?
Yes, the D, E. And I feel she would be linked to that name.
Right.
I hope I can establish what the other section is, wherever we go. But she's established to that. Is it the 13th? 1300 something. Established with this lady.
And those initials?
Yes.
Okay.
1300 and something.
Right.
Earlier on in our investigation, David Scanlon, our parapsychologist, had hoped to encounter paranormal activity that related to Levens Hall's older history. Derek seemed to be taking us in that direction. Was he connecting the Grey Lady to the 13th century and first owners, the D. Redmonds? We went into the garden to where the Grey Lady had been seen by unsuspecting visitors and residents.
This is the same lady. The same lady who I talked about the energy in the passageway. I go way back in time with her. She's been around a long time. I feel when I saw her in the physical, I would put her into probably a late 30s if she touched 40. She was the lady of D. Redman. D. Redman.
D.E.
D. Redman. And she feels, at times, as if she belongs more here, this person in grey, more than any of the other individual spirits. That's well, they see her, she sees them, she ignores them. She has nothing to do with the others. There was a tower. She goes to the tower.
Would you like to have a little walk round to the topiary garden around there, where you'll be able to see the tower?
Yes, please, I'd like to do that if we can.
After all these years of not knowing who the ghost of the Grey Lady is, maybe Derek has pieced the jigsaw together. He feels strongly the Grey Lady was a lady in the D. Redman family who resided at the hall in the 13th century. But without a first name, we cannot confirm who she was. But this was enough to give the Grey Lady the beginnings of an identity. And if we are to go off Derek's information, she wouldn't be Victorian.
Would you believe this? It's covered this area.
What's covered this area?
Someone put a curse here.
A curse?
Yeah.
What type? Can you elaborate?
I'm not sure that that's a gypsy.
Why do you think a gypsy would be on such a grand house like this?
I don't know. I mean, this man. The curse was real. The curse was real, and it was lifted. It was lifted. But something had to be done for the curse to be lifted, and all would be well. Something was born. Something was born that had to be born. That's an animal. It's not a child.
Can you confirm an animal?
Is that what that is? He's just shown me a mental picture of a fawn. A fawn.
A fawn, right. What had to be so special about this fawn? I mean, there's hundreds of fawns around.
Its colour.
Its colour.
Something, it's the colour of the fawn was different.
Derek's accuracy of the curse was remarkable, and according to his spirit guide Sam, the legend was true. Would we come face to face with any of these spirits that Derek had contacted that walk the drafty corridors and roam the gardens? With Derek's investigation around the house complete, it was time for the rest of us to be let loose in different parts of Levens Hall. Splitting into small groups seemed to be the best way of covering all areas, and with Jason keeping a watchful eye on the monitors, we felt we had an overall view of the house. David, Derek and myself ventured down the long, ghostly corridor. We had all the relevant equipment with us, plus the thermal imaging camera, which would hopefully enable us to catch any unexplained phenomena.
If you see or feel anything, Derek, can you just give us a shout and prompt us, and I'll snap away?
I will do, yeah.
Shall I talk, Derek, or not?
Yes, carry on.
Do you think, I don't know whether I'd do the right thing, I'm just go off what you guys tell me to do.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. If there is anybody here who would like to talk to us, show themselves to us, please feel free to do so. We mean you no harm, we're just very interested. David?
Yes?
Would orbs show up on a thermal thing?
Although the thermal imaging camera is a good piece of equipment to have, because we've got the temperature readout, instant temperature readout, so we can detect increases in heat, decreases in heat. Now, I'm not entirely convinced or entirely sure that a thermal imaging camera would actually pick up an orb, or an apparition for even that. But then again, if it's cold, we're going to get a temperature readout and not anything conclusive in image format.
Meanwhile, not a lot was happening with the other groups, but there was one particular room, Bishop Ken's room, that seemed to have some strange activity. Stuart and Sean were unaware of this strange light that could be an orb. It comes and goes very quickly, but moves slowly.
Yeah, okay. Someone's just tugged on the bottom of my jacket on the left side. Just tugged here.
You did?
Yeah.
I'll check behind there, there's no electrics.
Run it along again, run it along. Further out in the middle of the floor you were. Oh, that's interesting because it was there and now it's gone.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the EMF meter's just gone off, detecting something around the doorway. Quick scan of the area shows no apparent electrical cables or none that's admitting that type of signature again. We've been over this position again. There doesn't seem to be any other reading from there.
I'm afraid this is not picking up, you know.
No, that's fine.
But it seems a little bit strange. It's there 1 minute and not there the next. Obviously, if it's an electrical cable, you've got a continual current cycling through the cable. So if there was an electrical cable underneath the floor, it would pick it up all the time.
Rick and Carl were out in the topiary gardens, but with no light or sense of direction, they seemed to be getting a little edgy.
Are you with me?
I'm with you. All right, where we get that? No. Some of these trees, you see them in the distance, and they look like people. You're right. What's that? Now, we both just heard something up this side. Stay here. I'm gonna go up there.
That was that same noise again, but it was here. Did you hear that then?
Yeah, just this side of it.
Right, should we head on in now?
We're not saying anything.
Can you hear that?
Cool, crumbs. Was that you? Did you just touch me at all?
No.
At all?
No.
Did you just touch me in any way, shape or form?
No, I'm well in front of you. How can I touch it?
Well, I don't know. I didn't see you. I was pointing the camera in front of me. Something definitely just prodded me in the back. These are too loose. It's not. It was.
Alright, it's starting to freak me out here now, Carl.
No, it was a definite prod. It wasn't a forceful push. It was just a.
Right. Should we head in?
Let's head in.
Okay, we've got two different EMF meters here. Okay, we've got one with a probe.
Yeah.
Set to the highest sensitivity, and we've got the ordinary Gauss meter. Okay. Again, this is sensitive, right? If we get the Gauss meter, we're getting a reading.
Yeah.
Very, very slight. Very, very slight indeed. Okay, it's 1.5.
Oh.
If there is anyone in this corridor with us, could you please give us a sign? Could you knock, rap, tap, kick something, move an object? Just so that we know you're here. The Gauss meter's increasing.
It is. Come on, love. Make it go up.
That's lovely.
Yeah. There's movement.
Where?
They're coming towards you.
Come on. Please show us a big light or anything to show that you're here. Come and say hello. Come on.
Both meters pick it up.
Oh, cold draft on my hand. Cold blast right on my hand.
Can you feel it coming across?
Coming across. It's freezing cold. Absolutely freezing cold. Rushing right down.
Oh, went down right the way down to.
Gauss meter's going off on its own.
It's freezing. It's absolutely freezing.
It's going to be a flash.
Hello, are you here?
She's trying her best.
Come on, love. Show some more.
Yeah, it's getting a bit warmer now.
Yeah,
It is. It's getting warm.
Oh, it's gone to 31, 32. How's that? Look at that.
And you saw her outline?
Yes.
Psychological because of what Derek's just said.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that weird? Because that was coming straight from the back of me, freezing, absolutely freezing, and now it's back to normal.
Yeah, yeah.
The average temperature in the corridor was 20 degrees Celsius. Obviously, with more people together, the temperature would rise. Human body temperature is normally 36.9 degrees, so it seemed very strange to suddenly drop to 17 degrees. Derek seemed to believe he saw the grey lady's outline. Was she responsible for the temperature drop and the EMF fluctuations? Most of the crew had retired to bed, leaving just a few of us left to see if any more evidence could be found. Having had time to dry out from the garden, Carl and Rick made their way up to the Bishop Ken's room. There was something I wanted to do, face my fear of the dark and being alone in the corridor. With a locked-off camera at one end and my own camera for company, how long would I last?
Oh God, I really don't like this. It's a light switch. Oh, how tempting is that? I can't see a thing. I'm not going to look behind me. If I get to the end, I'll put my torch on. Okay. Dave, can you hear me? The door's just opened on its own.
It's probably just a draft. Go down and have a look.
I don't want to go in there. Please don't make me go in there.
Don't worry, just go down and have a look. I'm watching.
That door is open. That door is open. That was not open before. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe it was the wind. Look, it's easy to open. Okay, maybe it's not.
If there is such a thing as a ghost, I want to catch the full manifestation of a ghost, or absolute proof if there is. And if there is, I want to do it by seance. And if if they do turn up, they turn up. If they don't, don't.
Okay. Well, God, it's so creaky down here. Holy shit. David?
David, it's me. The door just opened again, David. There, calm down. It's an old drafty house.
I know it's a drafty house. Okay. Okay. If I sit at the top here, I'm going to sit up here for a good 5 minutes is all I can last. I can't do any more. I think I have been very, very brave. If I sit up here, okay.
Try to clear them all. If there is anyone here, please try to show us your presence.
Why am I doing
prove to myself that I can do this. I've spent 16 programmes being scared, and it's only my fear. But I've always been nervous of the dark as a child. And I think slowly I am getting braver.
Please just let us know that you're here. If you need an energy, use our energy to manifest. Either by showing us yourself in a mist form, or an orb, time and show yourself here at the bottom of the bed. What do you feel? It's got fabric on me as well. I don't feel anything left. I don't even feel like there's anything here.
There's got to be an explanation why that door opened. Did you hear that? What the hell? I'm too scared to go down. Okay. Where's that from? Oh shit. Is it the same room? It's the same room. I'm not doing it. I can't find the torch thing.
With David always looking for a rational explanation, he was convinced that drafts and old floorboards had made the door move on its own. But it doesn't make me feel any less frightened about being alone in the dark. And if I lived at Levens, you wouldn't catch me going to the loo in the middle of the night. I am absolutely sure that the door opened on its own 3 times with no help from any drafts. During our investigation at Levens, this particular room is the only one where these strange lights have been caught on our night vision cameras. Stuart and Sean were unaware of this light earlier on in the investigation, during the séance, and also during David and Vicky's baseline test. All these lights appear at the foot of the same bed, where the 3 supposed ghosts had been seen here not so long ago. Were they connected? Of all the rooms at Levens Hall, most of the activity had centred in 2 places: the corridor where Richard Baggett had seen the black shape move towards him, and the Bishop Ken's room where 3 ghosts were said to have been seen by a female guest. During our 24-hour investigation, most of the unexplained phenomena and fear were also in these 2 places. Coincidence? Maybe.
Overall, I was quite happy for the section of the mediumship of what was picked up or what was given to me. As far as the activity was concerned, we did manage to, with the machines, to pick up certain amounts of activity, which was, I suppose, pleasing. Like always, I wish for more.
The cold spot that Yvette experienced in the corridor was actually quite interesting, because normally with a temperature reading you will get a gradual decrease or a gradual increase if you're coming closer to a natural heat source or a natural draft from an open window, an open door, but there was no form of ventilation around, so it couldn't have been a natural occurring draft, so that was actually very interesting.
I think generally, like the majority of investigations into allegedly haunted houses or sites, pretty much nothing happened. Nothing that we've so far detected anyway. I mean, when we look at the film footage and the sound footage more closely, then maybe.
Well, it makes absolute sense, of course, to split people up when we have a large group of people so we can watch more different areas. I think each experience that people had was probably down to the type of people that were in that particular group. For example, I didn't have any experience either sat in the hall or moving around in the gardens. It seemed to me to be much more person-based rather than location-based.
The orbs that we both photographed with digital stills camera and on the DV cameras as well last night, they do look pretty good, but obviously we have to scrutinise these in a lot more detail. We have to blow them up, we have to enlarge them, we really do have to look at them before we can say, yes, they're orbs. We have to eliminate moths, dust, moisture, various other natural phenomena which can look like orbs in low-level lighting conditions.
After our filming at Levens Hall, we had a chance to examine the light anomalies caught during our investigation, and we can confirm they are not dust, moths or moisture, but orbs, also known as spirit lights. They are thought to be one of the first stages of a ghost manifestation.
Well, our 1 hour special at Levens Hall has come to an end. We did have a few strange occurrences, also some strange lights on camera. Well, are there such things as ghosts? We'll keep on trying to find out. Until the next time, sleep tight.
Well, tonight I'm expecting to see orbs, as usual. Lots of weird sensations. Well, I'm expecting to see lots of strange... What was it I said before? Hey ho! Feed high!